Chapter 10. The puppies were upon Stella in seconds, pawing at her pants, barking. Stella shrieked loud enough to make the dogs in other pens stop barking and look at them. She closed her eyes tight, covering her face with her hands, even though the puppies were so tiny they couldn't reach her knees. "No, no, no! Get back!" Stella screamed. Anita was so surprised she went running, scooping up both wiggly puppies in her arms. "Stella, it's all right. I've got them. You're all right," she said as the puppy with the black ears started licking her face. "Aren't you sweet?" she said with a laugh. Stella slowly lowered her arms, her expression darkening at the sight of the puppies still so close. "They're menaces! All of them! Get them away from me!" "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to let them out," Roger said, stuttering as he got closer. "Stella, just get away from us, Cornelius!" Stella spat, and his eyes widened. "Go!" Roger did as he was told, disappearing to the far end of the room. Anita dropped both puppies into a nearby pen, then turned back to Stella. "You're all right, I promise. They're locked up." She put a hand on the girl's arm. It was shaking. The girl's eyes were shut again. "They can't hurt you." Stella opened her eyes and looked around. She appeared slightly horrified, her pale cheeks brightening for a moment as she experienced, was it possible, embarrassment. "I'm fine now," Stella said, smoothing her long fingers over her pants legs and exhaling before removing Anita's arm from her own. Anita shrank back, wondering if she'd overstepped. "Cornelius did that on purpose, the lout. He knows how I feel about dogs. It's his fault they get to me like this in the first place." She pulled up the left sleeve on her shirt, revealing a long, jagged red scar. "There," she said, pointing, "is where a monster took a chunk out of my arm as a child. I needed 25 stitches. "I'm sorry," Anita said as Stella looked anywhere but at the pens. Stella narrowed her eyes at Anita, which was uncomfortable. It was all Cornelius's fault. We were outside playing at our estate in the country, and this dog came out of nowhere and attacked me. Roger ran and left me there," she recalled, her voice softening. "Oh, Stella, that's awful," Anita said. No wonder Stella had been frightened by the puppies running towards her. "I was terrified. I must have been around 7, maybe. We were walking the path together. Even back then we couldn't stand each other. And this beast jumped onto the path in front of me and pounced. Roger ran off and left me. Someone at the manor must have heard me because they came running and the dog tore off. But at that point, the damage was done." She shuddered and rubbed both arms. It was dreadful, and it was all Roger's fault. "Maybe he was frightened like you were," Anita said, unsure why she was defending Roger. "He abandoned me," Stella said sharply. "Father may have remained friends with Cornelius's dad, but I refuse to ever look his way again." She managed a small smile. "Unless, of course, I was getting even. Filling his glass with spoiled milk, having someone place a frog in his bed when he stayed at our home, pulling his hair when he wasn't looking. I didn't bite the boy, but I got my revenge when I could." Anita couldn't help laughing at the thought of Roger finding a frog in his bed. "Oh, Stella, you're brilliant." Stella chuckled to herself. "I am, aren't I?" She sighed with satisfaction. "Never let anyone get the upper hand, Anita. That's what I always say. Anyway, after I was mauled, Dad promised we'd have no dogs on the property. No one could have one or bring one to visit. Father protected me. He promised no dog would ever hurt me again." Her expression faltered. Her voice sounded like sandpaper. "And now I wonder, did he forget his promise? Or has so much time passed that he now thinks it's all right to suggest we get a monstrous dog of our own?" "Maybe he doesn't want you to be frightened of dogs your whole life," Anita suggested, and looked at the cute little Dalmatians again. He wants you to see not all dogs are bad. These pups won't hurt you. Stella eyed the pens behind her again and grimaced. She wasn't convinced. I'm scared of things too, Anita shared. For the longest time, I didn't want Dad to move us to London. I was afraid, even after the war, of bombs falling from the sky, of what would have happened to us if we'd lived here during the Blitz. She closed her eyes at the thought. She'd had nightmares for years, even living outside the city. But Dad said to be brave, to see London and think of its strength and how much is still standing, how we can rebuild our lives here. And now, she said softly, I can't imagine living anywhere else. Stella didn't say anything. Instead, she just looked at her, and Anita felt foolish having revealed such a truth to a girl she hardly knew. Roger cleared his throat. I could use some help here. Roger, Anita snapped. Can't you see Stella is upset? The dogs started barking louder, and Stella shuddered. Can't you see we have dozens of pens to clean? Roger barked. You look like you're managing just fine, Anita volleyed back, surprising even herself. She saw a hint of a smile from Stella. That gave her an idea. Do you trust me? Stella frowned. I have no clue. We barely know each other. Can you trust me for 5 minutes to show you something? I promise not to let a dog hurt you. But can I hold one and you try to pet it? Stella thought for a moment. All right. Anita walked over to the pen where she'd placed the Dalmatian puppies with 2 small brown dogs. Carefully, she let herself in and picked up one of the brown dogs. The dog immediately started wagging its tail and licking her face. Yes, this dog will do nicely. Watch the gate, she instructed Roger, and close it behind me. You're not the boss, you know, he mumbled, but did as he was told. Anita backed over to Stella, who seemed to fold into herself at the sight of the dog being so close. I've got him, Anita promised. I won't let him go. All I want you to do is stand here and not panic. Dogs can sense fear. It might be why all of them are barking. Dogs can sense fear? How ridiculous, Stella said, getting some of her bite back. I doubt they have a single brain cell in those pea-sized brains of theirs. The puppy started barking at Stella. Then, as if it knew exactly what she was saying, Anita bit her lip. Just try, Stella, please. She looked back at Roger. If you want to volunteer here, we can't have Roger telling Miss Norbert that you're afraid of dogs. Stella exhaled loudly. As if I cared what Cornelius has to say. She drummed her long fingers on her hips, thinking about something. Fine, she snapped. I'll stand here and stare at the dog. She glared at the puppy, and it started barking madly again. Stella threw her hands up. See, this is pointless, Anita. Really, do you think I care if an animal likes me? I don't. Stella, just give it a moment. No barking at the dog, you know what I mean, Anita said, sounding cheeky. Just try to be calm. Quiet. Don't speak. This time Stella listened, and in a few moments the dog quieted, its little tail swaying side to side. See? Anita said brightly. Stella, however, still grimaced. Now I want you to try one more thing. Could you reach out and pet the puppy on its back? Anita, this is ridiculous. I am not a child. It will only take a moment. Please, I'll hold the puppy's face away from you, Anita said, holding tight to the dog as she tried to face it away from Stella, so she'd have a wagging tail in her direction rather than a puppy face and teeth. Just for a split second. Pet him. Stella sighed loudly again, then stepped forwards. Anita kept her voice soothing. Remember, stay calm. Stella reached her fingertips out and brushed them, lightly over the dog's back. Stella withdrew her hand fast. Anita smiled. See, I knew you could do it. Of course I could do it. That doesn't mean I liked it. You didn't hate it, Anita tried. Stella rolled her eyes. Don't push it, darling. Can you two help me now? Roger yelled. Anita and Stella looked at each other, and she could tell they weren't in agreement. Roger was a pain. Why don't you check on Miss Norbert and the cats? Anita suggested to Stella, shifting the puppy from one arm to the other. Kittens might be easier for Stella to tolerate. I'll help him with the pens. Can you manage? Stella was quiet for a moment. Come to dinner with my father and me tonight. Anita blinked, confused. Stella hadn't answered the question. I'm sorry? Come with me to dinner with father tonight at the Seville. We dine nightly at 5 p.m. prompt. Anita wasn't sure what to say. Have dinner with the famous Richard DeVille at a hotel? She'd never even been inside the Seville. She doubted any clothing she had was nice enough for a fancy dinner at a restaurant there. I don't have anything to wear, she said awkwardly. Oh, is that all? I will let you borrow something. Anita went to protest, and Stella cut her off. Don't worry. I know I have something that will look divine on you. You'll come then? It didn't sound much like a question. I'll have to phone my parents and ask. Stella huffed and waved her hand around. Details. They'll say yes. Stella was right about that. Mum would be thrilled. Lizzie would be jealous. Anita felt a shiver of excitement. Dinner with Stella and Richard DeVille at the Seville. That sounds lovely. Thank you. After we finish volunteering, I'll go home and get ready. Go home? No, you can get ready with me. I have everything you need, Stella told her. The puppy in Anita's arms looked up at her then, as if awaiting her answer too. Stella was a hard person to say no to. Then, yes, I'd love to join you. Stella walked past her. Wonderful. Don't let Roger make you clean those pens. Tell him you'll fetch clean water. That's a lot more civilized. Anita wasn't sure how she was going to get away with that, but she tried. Where is she going? You both have to help, you know, Roger said to Anita. I don't care what Cruella says. This is too much work for one person. A puppy in the pen he was in was shredding the clean newspaper Roger had just put down. The dogs need fresh water. I'll grab it, Anita said boldly, and put the puppy back in its pen. Then she picked up 2 buckets and walked past the pen Roger was in. You keep cleaning. You think you're living a life of privilege now? Roger called her. You're not even close. Anita turned to look at him, smiling coyly like she pictured Stella would. Neither are you, Cornelius, she said, and she saw Roger falter. Satisfied, Anita walked out of the room with her water buckets, the puppies watching her go. For a second, she felt guilty, but then she remembered Stella wouldn't, and she kept walking. Stella didn't return till after Roger was done cleaning the pens. After Anita's comment, he hadn't said another word to her, and she just carried water pails back and forth till all the dog bowls were full. That was when Stella and Miss Norbert appeared, coming from the cat room. Miss Norbert's mouth opened in surprise. You two finished already? She asked. We were just coming to help. I cleaned the pens, Roger said, emphasizing the word. Miss Norbert nodded, not seeming to care how the work had been done, just that it was done. Stella and I had a successful morning as well. She beamed at Stella. She had some wonderful ideas about the fundraiser for the shelter. What do you all think about a puppy fashion show? Roger and Anita accidentally looked to each other, confused, then quickly looked away. Roger frowned. Puppy fashion show? What is that? A fashion show where every model wearing couture has a dog or cat as the perfect accessory, Stella told him. Couture is fashion, in case you didn't know the word. And couture is something I know a lot about. and the clear implication, as Stella looked down at Roger's patched pants, was that he did not. "Isn't it a wonderful idea?" Miss Norbert asked Anita. "Yes," Anita agreed, thinking Stella was quite clever. "I've never heard of anything like it. I can't wait to tell Gretchen and the others," Miss Norbert added, and she put an arm on Stella's shoulder. "Fine work." Stella's face broke into a rare smile. Roger looked furious. "Now why don't we all clean up and get ready for prospective adopters?" Miss Norbert suggested. "You'll be done by 1 p.m. and still have the rest of your day." Adoptions were faster than cleaning cages, and since Stella wasn't anywhere near the dogs or cats, she seemed much more at ease with this part. Helpful, even. Then there was no time to ask her about the puppy fashion show idea because they were as busy as Miss Norbert said they'd be. Stella handed out applications and made sure they were processed by the front desk. Then she handed it all off to Anita and Roger, who ran families back to the pens to look at puppies or kittens. Prospective adopters then got whisked away to a private area that was a much larger pen or a playroom, where they could have time with the animals before deciding whether they wanted to adopt them. After a quick call to references to check each family's background, happy adopters were free to leave with their new pet. Anita couldn't believe how rewarding the whole system was. By 1 p.m., Anita was feeling tired, but happy. 25 puppies and 2 kittens had been adopted while she was there. Surprisingly, the adorable Dalmatians were not snatched up. Miss Norbert was staying on to work longer, but Roger left almost immediately, not saying goodbye. "Did you call home yet?" Stella asked Anita as she finished filing away adoption papers. "No, I haven't had a chance, but I'll call now," Anita said, walking over to the receptionist and explaining the situation. The woman gave her the rotary phone, and Anita dialed, holding the receiver close to her ear as Stella leaned on the counter, hands under her chin.
"I love you, Mommy."
"I love you too," and waited for Anita to be done. Anita bounced on her toes, praying her mother picked up so she could tell her the big news. The phone rang twice before someone answered. Weatherby Residence," came a breathy voice. "Hi, Lizzie," Anita said, immediately tensing up. "Is Mum there?" "Why? I was invited to a friend's for dinner, and I need to get permission to go." "You? What friend?" Lizzie asked suspiciously. "And where are you calling from anyway?" "Is that your sister?" Anita heard Mum say in the background. "Yes." Lizzie's voice came through muffled now that she was covering the receiver. "She says she was invited to a friend's for dinner." "What friend?" Mum asked, sounding intrigued. "Lizzie, can I please speak to Mum?" Anita tried again. "She wants to speak to you," Lizzie said. "Close the door!" And Anita could hear the commotion in the kitchen.
I want the candies come in.
"All right, then just close it a little."
Just like this?
"Yeah." Commotion in the kitchen as her mum dried her hands from whatever task
Or like this.
Yes, she was doing, and took the phone. "Anita, dear, Lizzie said you have plans. With a friend? Who is it?" Mum sounded intrigued, and Anita relished saying the name aloud,
Mommy,
imagining the
would you
look.
like a kiss?
Sure. Imagining the look on Lizzie's face when she heard, "Stella DeVille invited me for dinner with
Kiss
her."
you, Mommy.
Aww,
What's
and her
this
father
one
at the
called?
Seville.
On yours. Do you want to watch this?
Go take a nap, sweetie.
Do you watch this forever?
Yes, now go take a nap. No, Mum. Mum gasped. "You were invited to dine with Richard and Stella DeVille? Anita, you're joking. Are you joking?" "No, Mum," Anita said, enjoying the effect this was having on the household. "I'm with Stella now at the Hampton House for Dogs and Cats, and she's invited me to dinner. May I go?" "Oh, darling, of course." Mum sounded excited now and talked quicker. "You two are friends? When did this happen? Why didn't you tell us? Anita felt Stella staring and was afraid to say anything silly since she could hear her. It happened suddenly, but I had permission? Yes, but Anita, what are you wearing? You can't show up to the Seville in your Saturday clothes. We need to get you something special. Or you could borrow one of the theater dresses your sister has for the occasion. She could borrow a dress, can't she, Lizzie? No need, Anita practically purred. Stella said I can borrow something of hers. Why would Stella invite Anita to her hotel suite for dinner? I'm the one who invited her to sit with my friends on the bus. Lizzie whined in the background as Mom gave a small scream of excitement and started calling for their father. Is Anita tutoring her? Are you tutoring Stella? Mom asked. No, Mom, we're friends, Anita said, feeling happier by the second. This is just wonderful. I can't wait to hear all about it. The DeVilles. Wait till I tell your father. What, Lizzie? Lizzie, please be quiet. I can't hear your sister. Anita covered her mouth, trying not to laugh when she pictured her sister's outrage. Leslie? Leslie! Where are you? Anita's on the phone, and you won't believe what she's telling me. She heard her mother place her hand over the receiver and relay the information to her father, who sounded just as surprised. Oh, Anita, you need to make a good first impression. You know, when I was first invited over to my friend Juliana's house, her father did theater, and my mother said... Anita cut her mother off. Mom, we are eating at 5 p.m. If it's too late to take the bus alone, could Father come get me after dinner? Absolutely. Father will come get you this evening. Just call. Have a wonderful time. I can't wait to hear all about it, she said. Well, Lizzie? No, she can't help Stella waiting. You can ask her about the invitation later. Have fun, darling. Thanks, Mom, Anita said, feeling lighter than she had in a long time. She was on her way to have dinner at the Seville with Stella DeVille, her first real friend in London.